Hello and welcome into a Thursday morning edition of the Arizona State Sun Devils Insider Podcast. My name is Kevin Hickson. I'm your lead beat writer for the Arizona State Sun Devils on SI and your host of this Sun Devils Insider Podcast. And once again, a great day for Arizona State coverage. The Sun Devils are holding another practice later today, as well as Saturday morning before the season practice schedule is officially wrapped up. They will have one open practice when they're in El Paso for the December 31st Sun Bowl against the Duke Blue Devils, which is ironically a rematch of a game that took place in 2014. Duke is going to be a challenge. I think everybody knows that. They won as messy as the ACC was, they won the ACC for a reason, and they played very, very well in ACC play. What really cratered their season and their chances of participating in the college football playoff was the non-conference blunders. And just a couple other things that I want to touch upon before we get into the meat and bones of today's show. The Arizona State men's basketball team lost on Wednesday night to the UCLA Bruins. It was a 90-77 final score. More competitive game than the final score would indicate, I'd say. ASU had the game within 5 or 6 points within that margin for a good portion of the second half. They kept battling back. UCLA, especially senior guard Sky Clark, kept on answering with incredibly well-timed three-point connections, and UCLA's offense just operated too smoothly in that game. Donovan Dent had maybe his best game of the entire season after struggling mightily for a lot of this season before this, a lot of the beginning of the season. And UCLA definitely looked like a top 25 caliber team on Wednesday night. I don't think that this is as much of a knock on ASU as it is just UCLA is better than people think they are right now. And another unfortunate thing happened to ASU. Guard Trevor Best left the game with what looked to be a knee injury. I'm not sure about the prognosis. I really don't know much as of right now. But it didn't look amazing. He grabbed his knee. He was down on the floor for several minutes, and he had to be helped quite a bit to get off the floor. So, yeah. We'll see what happens heading into the game against Oregon State on Sunday and what is the final non-conference game before the Sun Devils make that trek into Big 12 play for a second time. And that's really all I have for basketball updates. Kind of wanted to talk about the impact that the players that declared for the NFL draft in the 2026 season had on the Sun Devil program and had in Tempe. If you haven't seen yet, cornerback Keith Abney and running back Raleek Brown both foregone, whatever, their final seasons of eligibility to declare for the NFL draft. And I think that really hammers down their intention or lack thereof to play in the Sun Bowl. So that means Arizona State will be very thin at cornerback because Javen Robinson is not playing. He's been absolutely MIA from practice. He's about to hit the transfer portal. Keith Abney is draft bound and is beginning his prep for the draft. Rodney Bimage Jr., we're not sure because he suffered a pretty serious stinger in the game against West Virginia about a month ago. So the cornerback room is going to look a little dicey in the bowl game. The running back room is going to look a little dicey as well because it seems like it's going to be none of the players that entered the season with designs of being a starting running back look like they're going. Kyson Brown doesn't look like he's going to make a return for the bowl game, even though he started practicing. Raleek Brown is obviously NFL draft bound, and draft prep. Kanye Udo, I think it's looking more and more likely that he's going to be back for his senior season next year. We'll see what happens there, but um, I don't know if he'll actually be the workhorse back or what. But he's been showing up to practice. He's been taking a lot of reps. I will say Demarius Man Robinson has been taking a lot of reps as well. So we'll see what happens there. Jason Brown Jr. possibly. But what I really want to do is get into Keith Abney and Raleek Brown's impact at ASU. Keith Abney is pretty straightforward. His impact was absolutely second to none. He was committed to Utah State as part of the 2023 class before Arizona State and Kenny Dillingham really made a full court press to secure his commitment. They secured his commitment. He was a late enrollee in 2023 and played pretty sparingly. Then came out full force in 2024. Was an all Big 12 selection. And then 2025 follows it up with what was probably an even better season. Abney's 2025 season is probably the best that I've seen out of an Arizona State defensive player since Will Sutton in 2013 when he secured, I believe, almost 20 sacks. And that is with players such as Chase Lucas, Carl Bradford, even current defensive players like CJ Fight. That's with all of those players having gone through the program as well. Abney is really one of the symbols of the Texas to Tempe pipeline adage that the program has popularized. He's really a symbol of the culture shift that happened under Kenny Dillingham, and he's going to be a very, very successful professional athlete, and he's going to be a player that recruits look at and go, wow, this player development team in Tempe is absolutely phenomenal, and I want to play for that. I want to play for those coaches. That is really some profound impact from Abney, and I think everybody wishes nothing but the best for him in his NFL career. Same with Raleek Brown, in a different manner, but Raleek Brown really stepped up to the plate in the 2025 season. He was expected to be featured in the offense, but Kyson Brown was the lead back heading into the season. I would say that was shown by Kyson securing, I believe, 14 touches in the first game. Second game, very early on in the Mississippi State game, Kyson Brown gets injured, and he's never really able to make a full recovery and get fully ingrained back into game action. Raleek steps in, is a workhorse back for a vast majority of the season, runs for over 1,100 yards, over 6 yards a pop, 239 receiving yards. Uh, just a dynamic runner. Very good blocker. Honestly, I think he's very underrated as a blocker for his stature. He's explosive. He's deceptively strong. He has great footwork. There's some slight issues with patience sometimes, but I'm not, with the talent that Raleek Brown has, I'm not going to nitpick at the concerns quite as much because I think he is going to be a great NFL player as well in one medium or another. I just wish nothing but the best for Abney and Raleek Brown. I really do think that they are two players that really symbolize what it means to be a Sun Devil, and I think that they're making this decision. It's not an easy decision to leave this behind, but they have to at this point. I can't blame them for it at all, and like I said, wishing them nothing but the best. I really mean that. That's really all I have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of the Sun Devils Insider Podcast, and I will see you with another episode tomorrow.